Here we are once more, making some green Knights of Chaos. This time, with the Chariot. As I've been painting the remaining 10 Chaos Warriors, it occurred to me that I was just one Chariot away from completing another Spearhead. Which would bring me to 4. More options for any Spearhead curious homies to give it a shot. Now, while I did have the Chaos Chariot from the old Vanguard box, I really didn't love it. The horses and passengers needed to go, in favor of something a little more fun and flavorful. I figured I'd probably keep the Chariot mostly stock, so I started piecing it together. As with the rest of this Green Knight army, I kept as much traditional Chaos iconography off as I could, choosing to go more organic. Nothing is more chaotic than nature, after all. As I was assembling this thing, I remembered that this green man that I got from Pablo, the Still Tower on Instagram, came with some cool pieces as sprues. Incidentally, using usable items as sprues rather than disposable trash should definitely be the norm. I'll link his stuff in the description below. Pablo rocks. Looking through these bits, I decided that this waystone or lodestone thing would make a cool rider. It required some very slight modifications to the Chariot, and by that I mean hacking a bunch of stuff off. But that was done in pretty short order. Glue this living rock to the Chariot, and it was looking pretty good. Then onto the mounts. I knew the horses weren't right here. I needed beasts of burden that were, well, not actual beasts. Something a bit more eerie, maybe even creepy? It occurred to me that I had a single sprue of dryads. 4 bodies, of which I need 2, and nothing but left arms. No matter, a couple of upside-down arms would probably add to the creepy factor anyways. To ensure I got these branch arms in nice locations, I first glued the bodies to the Chariot. Then the Chariot and these trees to the base, attaching the arms once all that was set. To really hammer home the creepy factor, I elected to leave these mobilized tree beasts of burden headless, glue down some coconut husk, hose it down with a rattle can, and we were ready to slop some paint around. I've been painting all these Green Knight Slaves to Darkness one model at a time, and no 2 of them are the same. However, since I'm using the same palette for each one, titanium white, yellow ochre, olive green, Prussian blue, and black, I feel like they look as though they belong to the same force. So although shields and cloaks, for instance, all look slightly different, the palette and the base unify all the models. The one thing that I've done for all of them is start with an all-over coat of olive green. Due to how easily oil paints blend together, this adds a bit of a yellow-green tone to everything that comes after it. The only other color I mixed up on the palette was a dark mix of black and Prussian blue, probably about 60% black. Smashing this paint into the shaded areas, like underneath the Chariot, the backside of the waystone, and the back and downward-facing surfaces of the dryads. It's not what you might want to hear in a YouTube video, but this really isn't a linear process. While I'm generally doing similar things each time with each color, there's a lot of back and forth. It's a very fluid process. I might finish crushing in some shadows, wipe everything back a bit, then go back in with olive green, reapplying it to some areas. Or grabbing straight black, applying it to the darkest area to add a bunch more depth. The way I've been painting with oil is 100% feels and 0% technique. Feeling my way around the sculpt and smooshing colors into areas as I discover them. Oil paints are very freeing in this way. They take days to dry. If something doesn't feel right, wipe the paint off and try again. As I've said in all my oil painting videos to date, I'm looking at this as one organic shape, using color to create some definition before I consider value. In this case, applying olive green as a sort of universal midtone to the whole of the model, then using the dark blue-black mix and pure black to create some shadows, and applying yellow and blue to upper areas, creating some highlights. The green doesn't necessarily stick around as a midtone everywhere, but it certainly influences the hue of each color painted over it. And yeah, maybe it's weird that the dude who constantly says they don't blend is using the medium most easily blended. I don't feel like I'm doing much blending here, certainly not intentionally. The colors just naturally influence and mix with each other, and it's kind of unavoidable. I'm just having a lot of fun smushing paint around and creating results that I think are interesting very quickly. Once I'm satisfied with the hues on the model and their placement, I'll use titanium white, fairly sparingly, to create some additional definition to the areas I want to draw the eye to. I like to use very dark colors and black to create deep shadows that obscure the areas I don't care about. Then use titanium white to enhance the details I do care about. This is in large part what allows me to create visual interest very quickly. For the bases of this Green Knights of Chaos army, I've just been slopping on a dark mix of Prussian blue and ivory black, then grabbing some of the yellow ochre and kind of overbrushing it onto a few places. Because these are slow drying oils, they mix together rather than yellow sitting on top like with the acrylics. But I like the look. A quick victory lap of black around the base rim, and this freak of a Chaos Chariot was ready for action. Here we are, a Chaos Chariot, sort of. For the most part, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I definitely could have and maybe should have added more bits to the base. It is a bit empty. But I can only use this in games of Spearhead, so it's good enough. Speaking of Spearhead, this is my 4th complete army for it. As much as I've enjoyed playing and introducing people to this sort of entry to Age of Sigmar game, I'm very much looking forward to more 2,000 point games of Age of Sigmar. Seeing a big volume of these tree-infused agents of chaos on the table is going to be brilliant. What do you think of this Green Knight-inspired army? Or this Chaos Chariot? Let me know in the comments below. Most importantly though, thanks for watching. You are awesome.